Hi, I'm Scott Stork with Polaris Law Group, and this is Raymond Chandler. And we're back here today talking about the 21 questions we would ask an estate planning attorney if we were hiring one. Now, before we get started, remember to hit the subscribe and like button so that you can get all of our new videos as they come out. It's going to be a really important way to stay up with the series that we're doing. So today's question is, what type of education does the attorney provide to the client? And what about the family of the client? What type of education is provided to them? And so this is an important question. And Ray, why is it important?
Well, it's important, one, on the front side, especially to know what you're getting into. So not just simply, who do you want to leave your stuff to when you die, but what is estate planning? What does it really mean? What are the 4 stages you're going to go through? What are you planning for? Who are you trying to pick? Who are those trustees, powers of attorney, agents, healthcare, all those type of things? To have that education up front, to know that that's what you're getting into, know what you're looking at, know what options you have available and things of that nature. And then on the back side of it is know what you received and how it works and when to pull those triggers. So does your family know when to pull the power of attorney, when to use the healthcare agent, how a trusteeship works, how to fund the trust, how those things go into place? And without that education up front and during the entire process, your family may not know what to do. You may not know what to do. You may not know what you have. And one illustration of that is a client I had a couple years ago. They came in and they came to me and said, we need to update our estate plan. Okay, well, what's going on? Well, we need so-and-so in charge, and we need these people in charge, and we don't know what to do if we have a financial issue, or if we become disabled, or when mom passes away. We don't know what's going on. So one of our first questions all the time is, okay, do you have any estate planning documents now? They said, yeah, we have a stack from the last attorney we went to. Okay, we'll bring those in. So I reviewed those documents with the client and said, so what do you want done? Well, we need somebody to take care of mom if she's disabled. Okay, well, here's this document. That's what does that. Okay, what if we're in the hospital and we need to make decisions? Here's this document. That's what it does. Well, what happens if mom passes away? How do we handle that? Well, here's this document. That's what it does. And who's in charge of all this? Well, this person, and this person, exactly who they wanted. They had an estate plan that worked perfectly well for them. They were just never educated that that's what they received, or that that's the decisions they made, or anything like that. They were simply given some documentation to say and said it was okay, but they didn't receive the education that was important for them, and most importantly sometimes for the family, to know what documents are there and know how to use them. So Scott, how do we do that?
Well, as you said, sometimes it's misinformation or not having information, and sometimes we have to fight the actual bad information that they get. And so when a client comes in for us, that's kind of the first thing that we talk to them about. And so after asking what they want to accomplish, and sometimes they know and sometimes they don't, we always tell them it's best to get on the same page so that they actually are speaking the same language as we are. So many clients come in with bad information, as I said, or only part of the information that we really need to go through first and just talk to them about what estate planning is. What are all these documents that we talk about? What do they do? What are the things that they may or may not know that they can do? What are the things that they didn't even know that they should be worried about? It's really only after doing that and walking through that a client really gets comfortable with what planning is. And so Ray and I are both really big visual learners, and we are really big believers that that's how most people learn. So when we do any sort of education with clients, it's visual on our TV screens in our conference rooms, so that as we go through it, the client hopefully is actually retaining the information. And that's kind of the biggest way that we start, is really talking to a client like a person, not like another lawyer. And really using stories, easy terms, things like that, so that people feel comfortable. The last thing we want to do is confuse them. And so whether we're giving the initial education or whether we're designing the plan, we try to make it in a way that's easy to digest and really, really train the clients that what we want them worried about is the things that they control and the things that they need to be worried about, who their helpers are, as Ray said, what their plan does, big picture. All of the technical, legal, tax information, those are things that clients typically don't need to know. And that's a big thing. If we get lost in the weeds, clients come out less confident. As far as how we help families figure out and kind of educate them, we're really big believers in family meetings. So typically that isn't, again, delving into the document, but that's more sitting with a family and telling them what to expect, what to do if there's an emergency. If they're a helper, meaning a trustee or a power of attorney or things like that, what does that job mean? And once families kind of understand that, they become more comfortable. And once we talk to them about the power of an inheritance and how they might receive that and what that looks like, then it's an easier transition to them when a parent or a loved one does pass away or something bad happens. That's not the first time we're trying to educate them about these things. They're actually able to kind of fall back on the fact that we've gone through some of these things, and it makes that next step while they're grieving a much easier thing.
And also, one of the biggest problems we see in the estate planning world is a missed expectation. And so if we don't talk to the families, if you don't educate your family about how the plan works, who's going to be in charge, who's listed, things like that, and somebody has a different expectation that doesn't happen the way they think, that's where a lot of the fights begin. So that's why it's so important to educate yourself and your family about your estate plan. And that's why we have this series here too. So again, follow along with our series, 21 questions to ask your estate planning attorney, like we would if we were hiring someone. Like and subscribe to the videos in our channel so that you can get notifications that those are coming up and the new ones are there. Next week, we're going to talk about how do you define estate planning, which is a kind of unique way of talking about estate planning. We want to make sure you understand what that means. So come back next week and keep in touch with the videos, and we'll see you then. I'm Raymond Chandler with Polaris Law Group.
And I'm Scott Stork, and we thank you for watching.